love to sing about the moon and the June and the spring. I love to sing about.
Yes, I'm in one of those moods. I just love to sing it today. I love it to sing. Yes, it is that time. The Wrestlemania review that you've all been waiting for, although it was supposed to be in video form, but scheduling conflicts.
AK, we were all tired.
Well, no, there was scheduling conflicts. Kristen had to abort.
Yes, true.
Pretty quickly, but we're back from.
I hadn't heard that song in forever.
Yes, Al Jolson from the Looney Tunes. That's the character name. Anyways. So, yes, I am back from the great state of Louisiana, from the city of New Orleans. That place, I'm telling you right now, if you've never been there, I recommend anybody go there, make some time, save up some money, take a week over there, and just experience what that place has to offer. Not even just wrestling related, it's fantastic. So, props to guys like Jordan who get to be close to it.
Thank you. I do enjoy my home city.
Yes, but what are
it was fun.
We did a lot over the weekend. Obviously, if you look on, well, I'm gonna put it in this video. The picture that I have is Guapo, myself, and Kristen in our gear. Although Guapo forgot a couple of his items, so he had to be Guapo. Yeah, because the jerk that you see over here decided that he wasn't going to be Kevin Owens, he wanted to be Kevin Steen, and that wasn't good enough for me. So
also, Guapo can't grow a beard.
Yes, he does suck at that.
I fulfilled my end of the bargain, even though it was fucking 40 degrees outside.
Dude,
it was in the higher 50s, lower 60s.
Fuck you, it was not higher. It was 45 degrees because I checked when we went outside.
That.
Yeah, you know why you don't remember that? Because you were wearing pants.
And I had a jacket.
And a mask. Even for me, it was fucking cold. And, well, but then again, I was wearing wrestling gear, so that kind of really, did not help the situation.
Boo-hoo with your big fucking long jacket.
Hey, that long jacket didn't do much of anything as far as keeping me warm. The only time
I bet it did much than me that had nothing.
Well, hold up. Everybody, let me tell you the funny story. The second she stepped into the hotel in her Nikki Bella gear, she was originally wearing leggings. And I said that that'll work.
But you said it condescendingly.
I said it condescendingly just to be a jerk-off, okay? Then, we go into my hotel room, you go into the bathroom, I'm thinking, oh, she's gonna put on makeup, she's gonna use the toilet, whatever, and the next thing I know, you're coming out in that! And I had no way to, filter the reaction. And that's that. Yes, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you, good night.
Yes.
It's on Twitter.
Yeah,
it's on Twitter, it's on Instagram, it's on everything.
So, WrestleMania, ladies and gentlemen. WrestleMania. What's there to say about this show? Before we get to the show, why don't we talk about our experience trying to get into this fucking Superdome? Guapo didn't have much of a problem, but Kristen and I did.
Guapo, go first. Did you have anything to say?
No, his was SmackDown related. It had nothing to do with
Yes, mine was SmackDown related. Getting into the Superdome for myself was fairly easy. So
okay, so I'll let Kristen go first.
Even though I had a slight hiccup that I had to figure out a way around, which I've done before, which I don't did not like that I had to do it, but I had to do it. Being a person from the city, I carry a pocket knife with me all the time. Not because of intending for anything, but I always have, always do. And I forgot I had it while we were walking to the Superdome. And so I did the old tug action and said it was my belt buckle.
Gotcha. Anyways, Kristen, would you like to go first on your extravagant experience?
Would I? So we walk down. and I'm already cold because I'm in Nikki Bella ring gear, which was not underwear I was in swimsuit bottoms. But anyways, it was fucking cold. So we walked up. It was not underwear.
Essentially.
So we walk up to the Superdome, and we're walking up to this area called what's it called? Champion Square. Right,
Championship
Guapo?
Square, yes.
Championship Square. And we walk up because it's an entrance into the Superdome.
The way they have it set up is basically a second line of defense, so where that they check people right there before waiting for them to get to the actual entrance of the Superdome.
Okay, exactly. So we walk up, and I have this clutch. I have this clutch bag. It's not even like a foot wide. It's tiny. It's like a little bit larger than an iPhone Plus. And I walk up, and there's this black guy, and he says, "Your purse is too big." I said, "There's no way my purse is too big. Look how small this is." And he holds up this piece of cardboard that's a little bit smaller than my purse, and he goes, "Bitch, your purse is too big." Nobody else heard him say the word to me, but I fucking heard him and almost lost my shit. Had to be pulled out of line a little bit. I was gonna fucking phenomenal forearm this asshole.
I would have paid money to watch that.
Yes, me too.
Fucking guy called me a bitch. Steve did not hear that, or else he would have complained more.
I would have chewed his ass out. I would have chewed his.
If I was standing right there, I probably would have been escorted away myself.
No, the first thing I would have said to him is, "I'm sorry. Is this your daughter? Is this your pet? Because if you say no to both of these questions, then you're gonna refrain from calling her a bitch again, because then we're gonna have a problem."
Yeah, I would have went full New Orleans on him.
So then we hear that there are lockers at this coffee shop. There are not lockers at this coffee shop. So I'm so angry. We're gonna go into another entrance and see, because there's no way my purse is too big. Monoxide's girlfriend had a similar issue.
Well, I'll talk about that, but go on.
So we go up, and we go up to an actual Superdome entrance, up a ramp, and go through an actual Superdome entrance, and I'm able to get through fine, no problem, through the security. But then we should interject, because Monoxide's stories interject with mine. So I get through, Monoxide gets through, but then
Anna doesn't get through, because Anna was having to...
Her purse is too big.
Her purse was actually apparently too big. But we went to the
Which is bullshit, because I saw somebody before her that had a fucking camera bag that got in.
Right. Now, in my case, she had a purse that she used to go into the Smoothie King Center. She has two different purses. She has a big-ass gray purse, and it's very big. But she has this black one because she knows that from previous experiences that they would reject the gray bag, so she used the black bag instead. And she, from the time that they started implementing that she can't have the gray bag in the stadiums or the arenas, she started using the black bag with almost no problems whatsoever, even in the Smoothie King Center, which is right across from it. But my story will add on afterwards. But now, Kirsten, continue.
So I then go in and go to scan my ticket that our friend Johnny Thunder bought, and our tickets don't work.
Mm-hmm.
So they tell me to go to gate B. So I go through the security line at gate B, get through security fine. Same thing with my ticket. They tell me to go to the box office. And I am so pissed at this point because I'm cold and I'm done. I'm pissed for me. I'm pissed for Anna. And our friend Johnny I guess he was going to meet Stone Cold Steve Austin, and he was like an hour and a half late or something like that. And so, hang on. So I had to wait out in the cold with our friend Alex until until Johnny got there to deal with it. And the end of our story is, what happened is Johnny bought our tickets on StubHub. For future reference, I will pimp the hell out of StubHub, because if you buy tickets off of StubHub, they guarantee the tickets. So if somebody sells you fake tickets, you're still guaranteed to get into the arena, usually in similar area seats or better.
Yeah.
And so we got there, and, you know, tickets ended up being fake. We went over to the ticket counter for StubHub. Johnny went and talked to them. It was no big deal. They got it all situated. We actually got to move up about 4 rows. We were in the same section-ish, but like 4 rows up.
Mm-hmm.
So by the time Johnny got there, I was less pissed. And also it made me feel good, because all weekend, me and our friend Gilbert Blaze were trying to buy the Finn Balor rainbow shirt. And they didn't have it in my size, but they did have it in his size, so I bought him that.
Mm-hmm.
And then it made me in a better mood. But I was about to fucking phenomenal forearm a security guard. I wouldn't have made it to Mania, guys, because I would have been in jail. I would have been in jail for assaulting this man.
Well, I was close to going to jail myself, because we go through the second line with you, the one that you eventually got through, and they're refusing Anna entry, my girlfriend, because of her bag. It over exceeds the 4.5 by 6.5. Now, the first thing that doesn't make sense to me is that I've been to other events. I go to Universal a lot, and a lot of women will bring purses similar to what Anna has, similar to what most women would have. And the procedure that they usually do is that they have this little stick. I don't know exactly what it's called. But what they do is they poke through the bag, make sure there's nothing dangerous in there, and then after they've checked through it and see that there's nothing harmful in there, they let you go on your merry way. But for the Superdome, that's not good enough. Even if you empty out the contents of the bag and put it into what they want you to put it into, which is a see-through bag, the bag is still not allowed in the building. Why? I have no fucking idea. I know people are going to say it's their building, they can do whatever they want. They have every right to do what they want, but I have every right to criticize their asinine logic of a rule.
Dude, the worst part is that they suggested to Anna that she go downstairs, spend $5 on a clear Wrestlemania bag, and then come back through, but she would have had to, like, throw away her purse.
Yeah, throw away her purse, which another woman was doing.
Or walk back to the hotel and put her purse
we're going to get to that.
Shit in there.
We're going to get to that. So, we're like, what the fuck do we do? Actually, you left one detail out. When you first got denied, we were told there was lockers over in a certain area, and we never found these lockers. So that's when we went to the second line. Second line, they denied her. Well, I asked the woman, where do we get these bags? And she pointed me at a certain direction where there were security guards and they would give us clear bags. I'm like, okay, no problem. It sucks because now we have no idea where to put her actual bag, because even if we empty out the contents, it's still not allowed in the building. So, again, I don't understand this logic, and they probably will not be able to give me an explanation that I can fathom. But, however, we go to this section, and we see security guards wearing the same exact uniform as them. So, they say the bag's not allowed in the building. I said, I know, we're looking for clear bags. And she's like, what do you mean? And they said we could put the contents in a clear bag and put this bag somewhere where it's not in the building. They're like, oh, you have to go. They said you have to go here, but it basically equated to exactly where we just were. Now, the reason I flipped out at this situation was because a year prior at WrestleMania, I had a similar problem. Me and Anna couldn't find our seats, so we would go up to somebody and say, where are our seats? Oh, you have to go upstairs. We'd go upstairs, look around, can't find our seats. We go up to somebody, oh no, you gotta go downstairs. We go downstairs. Then we go up to a security guard because we still can't find our seats. They tell us to go upstairs. It's one of those wild goose chases. And at this point, when this woman said, oh, you gotta go back up to where we just were, I was reliving what happened last year. And so I flipped out without cursing, which is a monumental feat in my opinion. I start flipping the hell out, and the 3 people that were there was a woman who may have been near her late 50s, and two gentlemen who may have been in their 20s. They just watched me flip the hell out. And I don't flip out in public most of the time because I try to keep a level head. I don't like creating scenes. But it was just, I started losing my mind. I'm like, why is there no communication here? Like, literally, nobody is communicating with you or the people up there that this is the procedure that needs to happen. I start going off and off and off. And I tried to explain to the woman, I'm not directing my anger at you. I'm directing my anger at whoever it is that's telling you one thing and telling these people up there another thing. Then a police officer comes up, a female police officer, and the police officer starts telling me the bag's not allowed in here. And this is after I tried to explain the situation. I told her, you are not helping right now. You are interjecting into a situation that you only know 25% of the info. And all you're doing is just exasperating the situation. I am pissed because I'm told to get a clear bag, I'm told to go here, and now these people are telling me to go back to where I just originally was. So, we had to go over to the merchandise stand. We wait in this merchandise stand, it's a long-ass wait. But guess what? Everybody that's at that merchandise stand are there for the same exact reason that my girlfriend is there, because she's got to get a clear bag and empty out their contents. We all start telling each other this stuff. There was a woman there with her 10-year-old son that, I got to empty out my contents. We just started going off about this fucking building. We finally get the bag. We had to pay $5. We then had to go fucking pick up a lift, and it took a while because they literally blocked off the streets, and it was hard for her to park somewhere. She eventually did. I got to the car. I gave her the wrong address by mistake. That's my fault, so I'm nobody to blame there but me. We stopped at the wrong place. We eventually got to the right place. She had to go drop off her freaking bag, and then we had to go all the way back to the Superdome, and I ended up missing the Andre the Giant Battle Royal because of this bullshit. This unnecessary bullshit.
Oh, no.
So, fuck the Superdome for this shit.
I don't think it was the Superdome. I think it was partially the Superdome and partially WWE. And had my only problem is, if you're gonna have this kind of security thing, that's totally fine. I mean, that's what it's y'all's Superdome. You guys can do what you want. My problem is when they knew WrestleMania tickets were going on sale and they knew it was going to be at the Superdome, and WrestleMania had these tickets that they gave to either Ticketmaster or whoever that they sold to Ticketmaster. I feel like it should have said on your ticket, these are the items prohibited. And then, if you didn't see them, it's completely on you, because it's on your fucking ticket. This is what we're allowing in the Superdome right now. Because WWE and the Superdome have to agree on these things. So if this is the Superdome's rule or if it's WWE's rule, I feel like it should have been on your Ticketmaster ticket or whatever ticket you bought. The only reason I saw this little thing floating around Facebook, but who the fuck knows if that's true or not? Or I don't know. Or you could maybe send an email. Like, everybody that has the WWE Network, there's a good percentage of people that have the WWE Network. They're probably going to go to WrestleMania. Maybe send just a real cheap email, network-wide email that's like, by the way, if you're going to WrestleMania, this is what the fucking deal is.
Even if they say this is the deal, I'd still have a problem with it. Because then what's the point of these fucking metal detectors then if you're just going to straight up say these bags aren't allowed? So then your metal detectors are worth shit.
I'm just saying, for me, if I'm warned ahead of time, I'm more cool about it. I'm like, this is what you told me ahead of time. This is your place, whatever.
But I'm still not cool with it because this same company is saying that there's no beach balls allowed in the fucking building, and at WrestleMania and Raw, we got beach balls. I mean, am I going crazy here? Like, my girlfriend can't bring, which is usually a necessity to a woman's daily routine, but a fucking guy can go in there and bring a fucking beach ball, which is not only a distraction to the wrestlers, but to the fans, and now the cops gotta get involved to stop this shit. They're allowed to bring that shit in, but my girlfriend can't bring her purse, even if it's empty. I'm sorry, I still have a problem with it. I don't care if that's your policy. I have a problem with it. It's stupid.
To interject a little bit, not to defend the Superdome, because I do agree with you. They made you walk through or jump through hoops that were unnecessary. I knew about the clear bag thing. I didn't know how how like thoroughly they were going to be doing that stuff and all that stuff, because I know from going to Saints games there and stuff like that for that stuff. However, for me being a person who lives here and also a guy, that's the last thing I think about going there with.
But see, here's the thing. We went to the Smoothie King Center the night prior to go to NXT, and they said
Yeah, and it
nothing
was
about my girl's
completely
bag.
fine.
Yeah,
Right.
they said nothing about my girlfriend's bag. And
The
not
worst
only
part
that,
is
they had the same exact sign there, 4.5 by 6.5. And not only that, when they tell you that certain items are not allowed, the only thing they say is a bag that's like this big. They don't tell you until you get to the fucking line, oh, it's got to be 4.5 by 6.5. That's ridiculous.
I agree 100% with you. The worst part is it's the same security staff that works the Superdome that also works the arena.
That's what I'm saying. It's like none of it makes sense. Even if you sent out an email and all this, I'm still going to question you on it. I'm still going to question your logic in it because it doesn't make any fucking sense. And if all you
for me,
and if all your argument is that, oh, well, it's our building, we can do what we want, well, then, okay, you could do what you want, but then when you start to notice that there's a decline in ticket sales to your building, you have nobody but yourself to blame because you want to make up asinine rules.
Mm-hmm.
Like I said, I don't know if those are... Guapo, you would probably know. Are those Superdome rules, or was that like a WWE thing? Those are
the clear bags, the bags that are no bigger than that size.
Because I was about to say that's a new thing. Because I was able to bring a fucking big ass purse to WrestleMania 30.
That was a newer thing. The clear bag thing was a thing during the football season that they implemented a while back, but the size restriction and everything was a new thing that they implemented a few years ago after the bombings and stuff that happened in England at the soccer games.
Yeah. See, and I get that, but I feel like any tickets for a Superdome event should say on the ticket this, because not everybody's going to the Superdome all the time.
I agree.
There are a lot of people, especially for WrestleMania, that come in.
That should have been something that WWE did with the Superdome.
Yes, and then definitely they could have, if it was on the ticket, then if somebody pointed out, look right here, I'm like, oh, I'm a dumbass, it's on my fucking ticket that I've printed out and shit.
But even if you print it out, I'm still, like I said, I'm still going to call it out for what it is. It's dumb because, so then what's the point of these metal detectors then? If you're just going to sit here and say that we got to have clear bags, and we gotta have nothing in our pockets, we gotta empty out our fucking pockets, it's like, what's the point of these metal detectors then? Because I thought the whole purpose to them was to make sure that you have nothing hiding. Well, how the hell are you gonna hide something in a clear fucking bag? It's like, at the end of the day, when we go to Universal, how would it be if we go to Universal and every time my girlfriend gets turned away, even though after umpteenth time, they have a little stick that they poke through to make sure that there's nothing in there. That's all you gotta do. And even if, like you were just saying, you see the woman emptying out the contents of her bag into a clear one, you're still going to tell me that bag's still not allowed in the building? Like, come on. It's stupid. I'm sorry. Nothing about it makes sense.
Well,
I agree with you.
Let's move on to WrestleMania. We've stated our concerns about the Superdome in general.
I can't judge the Battle Royal because I never watched it because the assholes...
If any of you guys, when we were at the Superdome for NXT, which, by the way, NXT was a lot better than WrestleMania. I'll just go ahead and say that.
The crazy thing was, before we get to the actual review, why don't we, just pinpoint some thoughts about it? What I thought the show was starting to become one of the best shows of all time. And then it fell off a fucking cliff.
I was lukewarm about the whole show.
I wasn't. I thought it was great.
I didn't think it... I didn't think it was awful, but I didn't think it was, the greatest thing ever. I was just like, whatever.
I enjoyed the show.
I had more fun at NXT than I did at WrestleMania.
I think the first... I would say right around after the Daniel Bryan match, that's when the show took a complete nosedive.
I'll definitely agree with you on that.
There were some stinkers there, the whole tag team match being 2 minutes.
There were a lot of matches that I was just like, okay, I I'm not mad about
But
how it
why?
happened, but I feel like I'm not mad about it, but I just feel that there's something missing about it. You're going to hear me say that a lot, that there was something missing in blank match.
Did anybody watch the actual Battle Royal, the Andre the Giant Battle Royal? Because I did not get to see that.
Yes, I did.
All right, go ahead. What did you think?
You were the only one that got to see it, Guapo.
I got to see it live and in person, and I couldn't tell who the hell was getting eliminated.
As most battle royals are.
Correct.
Like the greatest battle royal of all time from WrestleMania 25, Miss Wrestlemania.
Well, yes. Anyway, it was really good. I enjoyed it. The surprise. Well, once they got down to, I'll just cut to the end of it. Once they got down to Baron Corbin and Mojo Rawley and Matt Hardy, I knew for a fact Hardy was winning. Just because you have two former winners and one person who's not won. Why on earth would you have Mojo win again when you didn't do shit with him after last year? And he's going downhill regardless. Corbin, I can understand maybe letting him win again to give him a push, another big push or something. However, along with his receding hairline, I just see him going down. Having the returning Woken Bray Wyatt was the best thing I've seen in a long time.
Yes.
It was great. I was extremely happy. You start the show off, literally starting the show off with a fan favorite, a person that the fans like and enjoy winning. So I really enjoyed it. I mean, it was just another pile of people match, but the end of it was very enjoyable, and how they executed with Bray Wyatt was just even better.
Straight up. Next, we had the Cruiserweight title match. It was the tournament finals.
Really good.
Cedric Alexander versus Mustafa Ali, and the story behind this match was Enzo Amore, the original Cruiserweight champion, got fired for not alarming the WWE that he had a rape allegation put against him. We talked about it on this show. And they held a tournament where the finals would be held at WrestleMania, and the two finalists being Cedric Alexander and Mustafa Ali.
I thoroughly enjoyed the match. I thought this match set the bar for the night.
I can't really judge, because once I got to sitting down and we were watching the match, I was more in relief that I was not going to miss the show, because I spent good money on this show. So it was more like I was happy, and the stuff that I saw was really good, but this was more my relief period that, oh, good, we didn't really miss much of anything. And I and Alex, because Alex was sitting with us, we're sitting down, we're going to enjoy. I got my Coke Zero, I got some peanuts. Let's take the negative aspect, and I caught the end of this match, like the very end, was able to pay attention. What they were doing was really good. You could clearly tell Cedric Alexander was very emotional at the very end after he defeated Mustafa Ali, because after he won, he grabbed Mustafa Ali's head. I'm assuming he was thanking him and all that, or appreciating doing the job, and Cedric Alexander's your new Cruiserweight champion.
Yes.
I thought it was a great match.
Very good, very well executed by both men.
It was not that long. It was only 12 minutes and 15 seconds, according to this. And the Battle Royal...
all it needed to do.
The Battle Royal was 16 minutes and 37 seconds. I'm going to read...
there's more people in it.
Right. I'm going to read the times verbatim, because there's a point to be made. Okay, so after that, we had the Women's Fabulous Moolah Battle Royal.
It was not the Fabulous Moolah.
You're right. It was a sensational invitational.
That would have been way better. That would have been a much better name for it.
I don't know.
You're
I
welcome.
like Fabulous Moolah.
I honestly don't remember where I stole that from.
I feel like this whole match was just a giant, well, Bailey and Sasha, you're going to be bitchy about being in the pre-show? Well, fuck you guys. Match.
Literally.
Before you guys go on, Beth Phoenix and Paige were on commentary. We did not get to hear them. But I hear that Paige was really bad. Like awful. Don't know.
Well, I'm sure she was still maybe choked up about the fact that she was going to retire the next night.
Who knows? I don't know. I did not see it. I have not watched the network version of it. I only got the live perspective. But the only people that got entrances were the women that they'd give a shit about, which were Becky Lynch, Sasha Banks, and Bayley.
Yeah, that felt really... I understand that you can't give every single woman in the Battle Royal an entrance, but it felt really like these are the ones we like, and then there's the rest of you.
Pretty much.
I really hated that, and like I said, I would have rather they just have everybody come down to like the generic diva music than give 3 people an entrance. Like I don't know.
I felt the ending was really odd because it was.
Oh, the ending was a definite fuck you, Sasha and Bayley.
It was weird because no, I'm not even talking about the booking. Here's what I mean. It was pretty obvious the final 2, I'm going to put that in quotations for a reason, were Sasha Banks and Bayley because they had been building the tension between these two for a while. And everybody was going nuts. Everybody was like, oh my god, blah, 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 blah. I was even going nuts. I'm not a big fan of Sasha Banks. I've said it on the show. I really like Bayley. I think she's very talented. If they let her be Bayley from NXT, she could definitely succeed, which they don't. But I thought it was really, it was kind of ironic because they did the whole handshake and then Bayley just did a turn on Banks.
I liked that part because I thought it was too obvious for Sasha to make the turn. I think if Bayley decided to make some sort of a heel turn, I think it'd be way more interesting.
But this is not where it gets weird. So everybody goes crazy. Everybody's going nuts that Bayley fucking won. Or so they think.
She didn't.
Or so they think. Naomi comes in. Apparently she was put off to the side, and the fans are buzzing again. And then
she went under the bottom rope at one point because I remember seeing her go down under the bottom rope, and then forgetting about.
So then Naomi hits her with the rear. What is it that she calls it?
Rear view.
Rear view, and then she throws her out.
Worst finisher ever.
And then she throws her out, and Naomi wins, and they mark out for that. I was like, wait a minute, you just got done marking out for the fact that fucking Bayley eliminated Sasha Banks. Now you're marking out the fact that Naomi eliminated Bayley. Like it was odd.
I think people are really into Naomi, with the exception of a few.
I mean, I know one person who's really into Naomi. That's our friend Spaz Phoenix.
Oh, you know what's funny?
Clearly, if you want to talk to him about it, go tweet him at Spaz Phoenix.
I did.
The number 1, not the word 1.
I waved at him during the show on Facebook. But the funnier part was my personal friend John, he also hates Naomi. I actually physically called him right after. Like, I called Anthony, my personal friend, said, put John on the phone. So John's like, hello, who's this? So what'd you think of Naomi? And he's like, fuck you, asshole. If
it makes you feel better, I did the petty thing of when I was at SmackDown, recorded her entrance and then sent it to him.
Yes, you did a fine job.
Because I know Spaz listens to this show, I was gonna do I don't know if it was petty, but definitely trolly thing. So I guess it was Friday or Thursday. Guapo was reading out who was going to be at Access. And he said Naomi was going to be at Access. And I peeked for a minute and went, how much are Access tickets?
Yeah.
He's like $50. And I'm like, is it worth $50?
Yes,
to
it would.
stand in line for Naomi and go, my friend, who I won't say his real name, but I was going to say his real name to her, so just in case, because here's a secret, guys, sometimes the wrestlers do know who the fuck you are.
That's awesome.
You feel like it's very unlikely, but sometimes they do know who the fuck you are. I was going to say, my friend is a huge fan of yours. Can I get a little video of you saying, like, thank you or whatever to him? I kept looking at Guapo and goes, is that worth $50 to annoy Spaz that much?
Kristen, if you would have alerted me ahead of time, I would have bought us 2 tickets. I would have filmed it for you.
Oh, no.
I would have participated in that
I didn't
shit.
think of that.
We didn't think of it until the weekend of.
Damn. Even then, I still would have bought us tickets. I would have found a way to get up enough money so that we can go. Just so I can film that. I would have been.
But we didn't end up doing that. I wouldn't say that was what was the word you guys were using?
Petty.
Petty. I would not say it was petty, but it was definitely trolly of me.
Yes.
But I didn't do it, so it doesn't matter.
Okay, so that was.
But Naomi won the Battle Royale. I'm sure it'll do great things for her career, just like Mojo Riley and Big Show
And Cesaro.
And Cesaro, and who's the other one that won it?
Big
and,
Show.
Wait, guys, I
said
just
Big
thought of
Show.
something.
Yeah, Baron
Big
Corbin.
Show, Cesaro,
Baron Corbin.
Baron Corbin.
Does this make Naomi undefeated at Mania?
I think so. That might be true.
Yeah. So she's the Undertaker.
WrestleMania streak.
Yes, she's the Undertaker now. And she has the dark entrance too, so it works.
I would have been way excited to actually see her entrance at WrestleMania. I mean, like I said, our buddy doesn't like her, but I like her entrance. I think it's unique. I think it's interesting. I would have loved to see her entrance at Mania.
Yeah, that would have been.
Like them make a big deal of it. Like they did. For Charlotte, which we'll talk about later.
So that ends the pre-show. We start off the night with the WWE Intercontinental Championship match, which no surprise that would start the show. The Miz defending the title against Seth Rollins and Finn Balor. Miz came out. He had a pretty kick-ass attire, but he basically directed both Miztourage members to go to the back. Seth Rollins was rocking Game of Thrones gear again. And
Can I make one complaint about WrestleMania in kind of its entirety?
Okay.
It's just a nitpick of mine. My co-host may not agree with me.
Which one?
I always want either of you.
Go ahead.
I always, whenever entrances happen, I know it's a nitpick, I always want the champion to come out last.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't think they did that for any one of these except for maybe the main event. And I think Shinsuke came out before. I think Shinsuke came out before AJ. But a lot of the like multi-person or multi-team matches, the champions did not come out last, and this one was no exception. I love Finn Balor to death, but I feel like Miz should have come out last.
Randy came out last.
Yeah, well, it's Randy Orton, but
Randy came out in the middle because I remember that shit too. Randy did not come out last.
So did Jinder
he came
come
out
in
the middle.
No, probably. Wait, who was it?
Because Rude was first, then
it was
Rusev.
Rude, then Rusev, then Orton, then Jinder.
Gender? Did you just call him
Gender?
Gender?
Yes, Jinder Mahal.
Did you just assume his gender?
I did just assume his gender.
Don't hinder the gender.
All right, so Finn Balor.
That's just a nitpick for me.
Oh, I got a nitpick too. I know everybody's liking this Finn Balor LGBT. Do I have that right? LGBT gimmick.
Yes.
LGBTQ.
Oh, okay, LGBTQ. I'll try to remember that. So he's got this new shirt, the rainbow stuff, so I guess they're going to make him the figurehead. My only thing is that this is a nitpick of mine. It comes off more proficiently when the person that's actually portraying this is actually of the LGBTQ. And I say that because Finn Balor came in, when he first came in, the thing that he had above everybody was the demon gimmick. I don't know how you're going to get away with Finn Balor being able to do the demon gimmick while trying to be an advocate for the LGBTQ community.
Lesbian, gay, bisexual, transgender, and queer.
Whatever. You know what I mean. The community.
I'm just saying.
I know what it means.
I know what you know, but I know you know what it means.
I know you know that I know you know that I know you know. Okay, cool.
I know that you know that I know that you know that I know that you know that I know.
Hold on. But do you really know?
I do. I know that he knows that I know that you know that I know that he knows that you know that I know what it stands for.
With that, ladies and gentlemen,
Kristen, 2 drinks in before the show even started. So
Right.
Look, I hate the point, but
oh, here we go, not again. Let me finish off my point. So Finn Balor, how is he going to effectively be a demon when he's trying to be the progressive superstar that you want him to be? Especially since...
would you like to hear an interesting fact that I am going to confirm while I'm saying it, because I could be wrong.
Oh God, here we go.
Last I heard,
oh God,
all of the demon merchandise, or a lot of the demon merchandise,
I thought you were going somewhere else with that.
Sale.
So that
which means either WWE's not doing it anymore,
the demon's
or
dead.
They're revamping and giving the demon a new look.
So he's gonna come out and
is the demon going to be rainbow?
He's gonna be rainbow.
I don't know. I'm gonna look at the sale portion of WWE right now.
All right, while you do that, let's talk about the match. The match was actually very fast-paced. I think it was the best.
The match was great.
Match was very good. Miz was not deter from the match. He actually added to the match because he has a different style than both guys. He did not work in indie style as opposed to Rollins or Finn Balor, as I like to call him because he likes to wear blue gear. They had a really good match.
I think he was wearing black gear this time.
Well, so he wasn't
with
Finn
rainbow
Balor
accents. Yep.
So.
The demon arrival gear is on sale.
So
at WWE.com.
I guess there's no more demon then. It's done.
I don't know if there's no more demon, but there's likely a chance that they are going to revamp what the demon looks like.
But how do you do that without it completely conflicting with his new thing being?
It'll probably be after all of this. Yeah, also, on a side note, Feel the Glow is also on sale.
But to be fair, though, how do you think they will ever get past this? If he's going to be the new spokesperson, do you think that they'll ever go past it?
I don't think he is the new spokesperson.
I think
this is a thing that he did.
He's going to be the first one in the line of people that they're going to do.
I think this whole thing is just he did it on Twitter, and he's not high enough in the company, but high enough in the company for them to be like, well, this is a thing that's like happening, so we should take advantage of it.
Uh-huh.
And I will tell you, me and our friend Gilbert Blaze, myself and Gilbert Blaze, tried to, what was it, Saturday? Did we go Saturday or Friday? You were with us.
Saturday, I think.
Saturday to go buy the Balor Club rainbow shirt. And we went to talk to some of the people that work there, and they're like, those sold out when we opened doors on Thursday. Like, the day the Superstore opened, they sold out that day. Now, I was able to get Gilbert Blaze one at Wrestlemania, but it was like the last one. That was the last one, and I had to buy mine online.
Mm-hmm. Well,
I think this is just a thing WWE's like, well, it's really popular. Everybody seems to be really into it.
Right.
So we're going to capitalize.
Right, but right now, the only person that's really capitalizing on it, or they're allowing to capitalize on it, is Finn Balor. They're not,
That's not true, because WWE gets a big cut of their merchandise sales.
What I'm saying, though, is that no other wrestler has merchandise that has rainbow colors on it. Yet. We will find out. But if there isn't, then I'm going to assume safely that they're using Finn Balor to be that catalyst.
I don't think we're going to see the Finn Balor demon thing. Go ahead.
We might be using Finn as a test the waters, see what they do with sales and everything like that for it. Because it's the same thing what they do with the pink stuff during October.
Right, but everybody at one time would get a pink version of breast cancer awareness, especially in the first year when they started working with Susan G. Komen. Everybody had a pink version of their breast cancer awareness shirts. Only Finn Balor right now has the rainbow stuff, and this is my fear. My fear is that the W.
I could be wrong with this though. I think the first year they did the Susan G. Komen thing, like
it was
the first year
handful.
they tried it. I think maybe like John Cena and maybe one or two others had the pink gear.
That's not true. There was Jack Swagger, there was Zack Ryder, there was the Bellas.
No, that was late. That was later on.
No, that was the
year.
That was the first year. The reason I remember that was actually no. Wait, yeah, you may be right. Because I'm thinking Jack Swagger, and I remember Jack Swagger's gear was in it, and that didn't come till later. So yeah, you're actually right.
I was about to say, so the second year, I would definitely be on board with you. I think the first year, Cena and maybe a few others. I definitely remember Cena doing it, but maybe like a few other big guys had the pink gear, and then the next year's when they did the full-on, everybody's getting pink gear.
See, where my fear comes in is that WWE, when they see something like this, they can't just let it be what it is. They have to, like, go overboard with it. So they're going to probably have Finn Balor, like, become flamboyant at some point, and he's going to...
That's what they got the Velveteen Dream for, though.
Yeah, but see,
I doubt they're gonna do that with Finn Balor. He's already doing the club thing.
Listen... You have no idea. They turned Billy Gunn, Mr. Ass, into a gay guy. I'm just saying.
Well, maybe that's true. I don't know, but I like the new Finn Balor gear. I think the demon thing is a thing where they're going to revamp the look of the demon.
You have a lot more faith than I do. But
also,
we'll see.
I also think it's a thing of they approached Finn for it first. Finn was like, yeah, sure. Yes, I'll do it. I support it already, so yes. And it's going to be one of those ones like they're going to go to each person individually. Do you want to do this?
Why do I have a feeling that Cass will say no? Because he's a Trump supporter.
Is Cass? I was about to say, is Cass not? Well, I guess you're right.
Yeah, he's a Trump supporter.
I can't wait till we get to the Raw Tag Team titles.
Okay, so anyways.
Next match.
Well, Rollins won. What did you think, Guapo, of this match?
Once again, Power People match. Didn't really care. Yeah, cool, Naomi won, but I kind of was. No,
we're talking about the Intercontinental match.
Oh, Intercontinental. Right, forgot. Finn Balor. Lost my train of thought. Wanted Finn to win. I'm happy that Seth got his Triple Crown finally.
Grand Slam.
And also Grand Slam. And I'm also I really enjoyed his ring attire with the blue contacts and everything, being a White Walker coming to the ring.
Yeah, the Rollins always has kick-ass gear, and I'm not.
White Walker, is that what all? Because
yes,
so we were sitting much higher than some other people were.
I went back and watched. I rewatched entrances.
Okay. Because his entrance thing was all, like, ice-themed until they said burn it down, and then it was all ice-themed again, and I'm like, what is the ice-themed thing about?
Yes.
Is a White Walker thing? All right.
Yes, a White Walker from Game of Thrones. If you go back, he has, like, blue contacts in, and it looks freaking sick and awesome.
All right, so
probably looked awesome, but I'll still give it a, what the fuck?
So the Battle Royal only went 9.5 minutes. This match went 15.5 minutes, and yes, Seth Rollins won with a hot crowd to it.
I think it earned it. I mean, like I said, I also wanted Finn to win, but I'm not upset with Seth Rollins winning. And also, I mean, unfortunately, Roman Reigns is in this group. Now all the members of the Shield are Triple Crown Grand Slam champions.
So,
which I don't understand how Seth is the last one, but yes.
So the next match we get is the SmackDown Women's Championship match. The match I was actually looking forward to the most. Charlotte defending the title against the Empress known as Asuka.
I would like to say that I feel like I felt like that the Raw Women's Championship should have been in this spot.
Charlotte.
I feel like this match.
Agreed.
Charlotte had a very kick-ass entrance. Probably the best entrance of the night. That entrance was awesome. It was also very reminiscent of
Remember, I think it was WrestleMania 30, Triple H's entrance where he
Yep.
had the NXT women
Yes,
in the
it was
entrance.
30.
One of them being
Yeah.
Charlotte.
It felt very much like that.
That's exactly what I told my brother-in-law whenever she came out. I'm like, holy shit, she's using Triple H's entrance from WrestleMania 30.
The only thing I would have loved more at this entrance is if the Spartan guys would have carried her, not the whole way to the ring, but like mid-ish ramp.
Well,
But I understand why they couldn't do that. But it was an amazing, and she had a great entrance. WrestleMania is the place where you do a fucking grand ass entrance if you can.
Asuka then came out to her regular entrance, and they had a match, which had a lot of heat. That was very back and forth, but it only went 13 minutes and 15 seconds for a match where one of the participants is undefeated, and she became defeated. Because the match basically ended with Charlotte trying to do everything possible to end Asuka. She kept just hitting all of her big moves. Asuka kept kicking out, and eventually she put her in the figure 8, and Asuka tapped out. Afterwards, Asuka got on the mic. She screamed Charlotte. I actually thought she said shut it, but she said Charlotte.
I thought she said shut it too.
But she said
Charlotte. She was turning heel.
But she said Charlotte was ready for Asuka, and they hugged. And
I kind of hated that part. If she would have just beat her, I think I would have been okay with it. Or if they'd done like a handshake at the end,
the only thing
I'd have been okay with that.
The only thing we know from this is that it is confirmed, pretty much. Well, I shouldn't say confirmed, but it's pretty much strongly believed that it's going to be Charlotte and Ronda Rousey for next year's WrestleMania.
Well, the more I think about this match, like my immediate thoughts after this match was, what a waste. What a waste of somebody being able to beat Asuka. I don't feel like Charlotte Flair needed it. She has all this, she's a multi-time champion. She's the second woman to win. She's the only woman to win all 3 women's titles in WWE.
4. She won 4 different. She won NXT, Divas, Raw, and SmackDown.
She's technically the only Grand Slam women's champion.
Pretty much.
Technically. She's technically the only, and so I don't feel like she needed to beat Asuka, but the longer I look on it, the more I think that I don't hate it as much, that I don't dislike it as much. Wouldn't say hate it as much, dislike it as much, because it's one of those matches. I'll probably say the same thing about AJ versus Shinsuke, that I feel like if I watched it again, like on the network, I would like it more than I did live.
Guapo?
I kind of feel the same as Kristen. I was extremely shocked to see Charlotte win.
Same.
It was more along, I don't know. I enjoyed the match. It was good back and forth and everything. The crowd was very into this match. However, I agree with Kristen. I feel it was a kind of a waste of ending Asuka's undefeated streak to Charlotte.
Yeah, I thought it was, but
I would have much rathered Asuka win the title, and then even the next night or few nights, the same thing that happened to Charlotte on SmackDown happened to Asuka.
That probably would have ended up way worse, because Carmella cashing in her Money in the Bank on Asuka probably would have put a lot of sour tastes in people's mouths, way more than Charlotte beating her. But
agreed, but then again, I don't know.
My only issue, other than Asuka losing, because I understand where they're going. Charlotte's probably a bigger name because she's got the family lineage. My problem was was that a ref comes out right after this match and tells John Cena the Taker is here,
Yes.
and then John Cena just completely dolts to the back. If you keep in mind, I
Agreed.
didn't mention.
Dude, I hated that too.
We didn't
Charlotte
mention
had
this.
look like
We didn't.
Charlotte had this look like, what the fuck? Cena's taking my moment here at Mania.
We didn't mention this, but John Cena literally was in the audience as a fan. Like, he literally was.
He was in the 5th row.
He was in the 5th row,
You know-
as he
you know
mentioned
how
at the
I know?
Blockers preview.
Yes, he mentioned he was going to be in the 5th row.
Yeah, so he ran to the back, and it completely took away the focus. They could have done this. I didn't mind the actual thing. It was that it was right as Asuka was leaving, or not Asuka, Charlotte was leaving.
Charlotte.
So after
You know
that,
what it reminded me a little of is when Ronda Rousey came up and pointed at the WrestleMania sign right after Asuka had won the first ever Divas Royal Rumble.
Women's Royal Rumble.
so in other words, if
Women's Royal Rumble.
you got Asuka and Charlotte together, take the focus off them immediately. That's the goal here. Next, we had the WWE United States Championship match. Randy Orton defends the title against Bobby Roode, Jinder Mahal, and Rusev.
It was not Rusev Day.
It was definitely not Rusev Day, and
that was
especially
a mistake.
and
Yes.
and Rusev Day has been officially canceled by Jinder Mahal. Just
Yep.
thought I'd let you know. But this match was very basic. It really didn't have much heat to it. It only lasted 8 minutes and 5 seconds.
Well, good, because I missed a good portion of it, because I took this opportunity to take my piss break, because I'm a progressive in 2018.
Yeah, why not?
I take my piss break during the men's matches, not the women's matches.
Well, this was the men's match to do it.
Yeah, and
Yep.
and all men are big men. That's the even crazier thing. You'd think
I
that
wanted Rude to win, but, you know.
I wanted
Whatever.
Rusev to win.
I also
I
wanted
would have
Rusev to
been, I
win.
would have been good for that, too, because he is
What-
super over right now.
Exactly. The
That's the
exact
problem.
reason why I don't understand why. However, I do understand why, especially because they promote it right after the match of them going to Saudi Arabia. I'm like, well, that's why he won.
I'm just saying the entire weekend. And when I say entire weekend, I mean the entire weekend. There were Rusev chants all over New Orleans.
Mhm.
Bourbon Street, anywhere in the French Quarter, at John Cena's movie thing, Rusev Day, all day
Yeah, in
at
fact,
WrestleMania.
I have a story to tell everybody that I'm not proud of, but we saw a
Are you
woman.
talking about that story?
Yes, where I got paddled for $1. Somebody paid $1.
Monoxide got spanked.
Yes, me and Johnny Thunder got paddled because we were so fucked up on alcohol.
And Russ got spanked
But
too.
the reason I'm bringing this up and what's the relevance to it is that right before I had her whip me with a paddle, I screamed Rusev Day, and the whole entire crowd that was there, and it wasn't like a small crowd, it was a huge crowd. I chanted Rusev Day, they all went Rusev Day, so it's clear as day, no pun intended, that they...
We
looked
should
for
probably
Rusev.
put some context behind this. So we were at a bar,
Yeah.
and we walked outside, and we saw a huge crowd, and there was a lady who was topless except for stickers over her nipples.
Mm-hmm.
As it
And then,
happens on Bourbon Street.
And then yeah, you know, a normal thing on Bourbon Street.
I've
and
seen
then, you know,
crazier.
Leather gear down, and she had a wooden paddle
And a whip.
and like a leather like cat and nine tails whip, and was taking money. People were paying $1 to be whipped by her, and there's video that I have on my phone of Monoxide getting whipped. And
Please send
Johnny
that to me.
Thunder,
Please send that to me.
because this is a thing that just after we left, we're like, well, that just sounds like Bourbon Street. That's a thing that happened. We ran into that girl later in the night, and everyone high-fived her.
Yes. And I told her, damn, you got me like 9 times, and she said, like, that's right.
She
And I-
did. She spanked Monoxide a lot.
Yeah, and then she said something along the lines of, yeah, bitch. And I had, what was it that she said? I don't even remember. Fuck it.
I don't remember.
I don't remember. We were
I
passing.
remember that drunk-ass Johnny Thunder high-fived her about
And I
4
high-fived her
times.
too, yeah. So, 805, Ginger wins in a very average match. It didn't go
The
our
point
way.
of that story was Rusev is fucking over and he should have won the U.S. title.
But that's the problem.
Yes.
He's over, and the WWE didn't give him permission to get over. Don't you understand?
just like Zack Ryder.
And Daniel Bryan.
Look, I give WWE one thing. They fixed a mistake already because it was announced on WWE.com and stuff that Rusev was going to face The Undertaker in a casket match in Saudi Arabia. And they just switched it to Chris Jericho against Undertaker in a casket match. So they literally stopped Rusev from being buried.
Literally.
Yes.
Not necessarily.
Well, at least in the fans' eyes, he's not going to get buried because if you're going to Saudi Arabia to fight Undertaker in a casket match, you're going to do the job.
Mm-hmm. Watch, I guarantee you, just so that he'll piss us off, Chris Jericho wins.
I'm okay with it if he does.
But he's only going to do that just to spite us. I just thought I'd let you know. The next match... Well, before we got to the next match, Fashion Police have a Snickers commercial with Mick Foley. It was fun.
Great.
Then we had what was surprisingly, in my opinion, the match of the night. Kurt Angle and Ronda Rousey versus Triple H and Stephanie McMahon.
Dude, that was a great match.
Agreed.
I knew
Amazing
going
match.
into this match it was going to be smoke and mirrors. I was okay with it. I got it. The whole purpose is to give Ronda Rousey some credit, give her WrestleMania match. It's a big signing. Give Triple H his match. Give Stephanie her match. Give Kurt Angle his match. And I'm going to sit here and say right now that all four individuals deserve a round of applause. Even Stephanie. I've always been very critical of Stephanie, but she did the right thing. She went in there. She made Ronda look like $1 million, despite her always constantly trying to break out of the armbar. Suffice to say, she did wonderful. She did the job. The heat to this match was great, and the crazy thing is that out of all the matches, this one did not go too crazy as far as moves, other than maybe Ronda's MMA moves. This match was as basic as you can get, but it just told a story throughout the whole thing. The match went literally 20 minutes. 20 minutes and 45 seconds. There was twists and turns. Like literally Kurt Angle putting Stephanie McMahon into an ankle lock. Ronda Rousey putting Triple H into an armbar. There was so many different things.
Don't forget the part where Ronda Rousey had put Triple H in like a fireman's carry position to like do something, and then Stephanie pulled him off, and the whole crowd was like, "No, we wanted to see that move."
Dude, this match was just drama filled. It was great.
Here's why this match was good. We all know that Kurt Angle and Triple H can put on a good match. They just can, even right now, despite their age. I mean, Kurt is still a little rusty, but Triple H can still go. They are going to put on a good match. You have Stephanie, who, let's be honest, the entire crowd wants to see Ronda Rousey just punch her in the face.
Yeah.
Like, we've been listening to this shit. That's what we want to see. And how they didn't fuck up with Ronda Rousey is they didn't make her a wrestler right now. They're like, look, we're going to show you like 2 or 3 slams. But mostly you're going to do MMA shit. Mostly
you'll use your judo.
Mostly you're going to do a lot of submissions, a lot of punches, a lot of kicks. Like, that's going to be your shit. And I think that's where, when it comes to, quote, and I know Ronda Rousey's now like a full-time person, but until she does matches on Raw, I'm still like, you're considered a celebrity coming on to like, this was practically the celebrity match for WrestleMania. There's always one.
And it was awesome.
And this was a really good match. And I think most of the time when WWE fucks up with celebrity matches is because they try to get them to do more than what they are capable of, and more than what the fans will believe that they are capable of.
Lawrence Taylor.
Exactly.
Although he did okay. Let me just put that.
But
are we not going to talk about David Arquette?
Oh no, he did excellent.
Exactly.
He won the world title, damn it!
Exactly.
You're right. You're correct. I'm
yeah,
sorry.
Like
that was
Kenny
my
Omega
fault.
can't say.
They gave Ronda a few wrestling tools, and mostly were like, here's a few things, but mostly you're gonna do shit you already know. And
I
that's
will
what
give
we
it.
wanted to see.
I'll give it to Ronda too. She sold very well.
Yeah, she did, especially when Triple H fucking pulled her ass out of the ring.
Dude, everybody did well. They must have practiced this like crazy. And I was impressed. Being there, I was marking out for the whole thing. A lot of people are giving it 4 stars, which I don't understand how. That match was super fucking awesome. That was definitely like a 4.5 star match, just based on drama alone. And people will say, oh, it went too long. Who cares? This fucking match flows very nicely. It's not like it overstayed its welcome. It literally flowed very nicely. I was like, wow, the twists and turns. I was into this match, and
the fans were super into this match.
It was a great match. Best match of the night.
I think it was the pick-me-up for the whole show, because, I mean, everybody likes Charlotte Flair, Asuka, but I feel like it was more of a, we're going to watch this match and see all the technical shit. And, the same with, and, Seth Rollins and Finn Balor and Miz was the opener, so, it's kind of getting us warmed up. I feel like this was when the crowd finally, woke up.
Yeah, it was great. And Ronda Rousey and Kurt Angle won via Ronda Rousey
Which
giving...
is what we wanted.
Yeah.
It's what we wanted.
And she gave Stephanie McMahon the armbar, which is exactly what we wanted. Although, Stephanie tapped, very quickly, which I guess... makes sense, but I would have liked her to been in it for just a couple seconds, just so we can just really enjoy that she's in pain, and then she just quits. But I understand why she quits very quickly, so I'm not going to complain too much there. But 20 minutes and 45 seconds.
This was one of the best matches of the night.
Probably the best match. You can argue. Next was the SmackDown Tag Team Championship match. The Usos defending the titles against the New Day and the Bludgeon Brothers. This match went 5 minutes and 45 seconds. It was virtually a squash, which kind of bugged me because the whole purpose was that the Usos never had a Wrestlemania match other than pre-show matches, and they're relegated to just getting squashed by the Bludgeon Brothers.
Yes.
I don't feel like it was a squash, but it was really short for a tag team match.
I don't remember the offense that the other two
tag
teams
team
had.
match.
I just remember the Bludgeon Brothers destroying shit.
I mean, they had to cut time somewhere because, this entire 7-hour Mania
I guess
was going over.
Dude, can we talk about Mania being 7 hours and how I feel like that's a problem?
If you want to talk about it now, I was going to wait until we get to the end, but...
Okay, we'll talk about it at the end then.
But yeah, this match was very quick. I really don't have much to say about it other than the Bludgeon Brothers won. I'm glad they're not fucking up with the Bludgeon Brothers, because they always seem to not know what to do with Luke
I think
Harper.
their hammers are stupid, and I know that's a nitpick, but
I do
if
not.
you're going to give them hammers, then give them fucking sledgehammers.
It reminds me too much of Mordecai's sword. That's a old school reference.
Yes.
I was about to say, that's a reference that I don't get.
Anything else? Any other thoughts on this match?
Nope.
It was a match.
It was a match.
It was a match.
So, okay, this is where things get interesting. So Cena's in gear, he's in the ring, but then now a ref runs in and tells him that Taker's no longer here. So as he's about to leave, the lights go out, and Elias comes out. Elias starts playing House of the Rising Sun in instrumental, in a Toad, because there's a lyric that says there's a house in New Orleans. So, yeah, there's a reference. Elias goes ahead and sings a tune. Cena's about to go sit back down in his seat. Elias... Alright, before I get to what I need to say, Elias is one of the best characters you have in this company right now. Maybe not world title, but this motherfucker can garner heat like no tomorrow. He's one of those guys I was saying that they need, that may not be a great wrestler, but just needs to be a character. And Elias is perfect for this. And when I say character, I mean like The Godfather, where you don't remember good matches out of him, but you remember him being entertaining as hell. Elias needs to be the same exact way. So, and he does very well in his role. Cena comes out.
I agree with that.
Cena comes in, attacks Elias, he's thrown out. Crowd's chanting.
5 moves of doom.
Yeah, 5 moves of doom. Crowd chants for Undertaker, doesn't arrive. Cena's about to leave. He's walking up the ramp, and then all of a sudden, the lights go out. Taker's hat and coat are in the ring. Lightning hits, disappears. Then Taker is finally here. Now, everybody was suspecting that he was going to come out as the American Badass. I kind of figured he wasn't, because I figured that gimmick was long dead since 2003. I understand people thinking, oh, well, he brought up his Instagram. Kid Rock in the Hall of Fame. Well, Kid Rock wasn't even here at WrestleMania. So, I knew...
He was on a cruise.
Yeah, he was on a cruise, so he couldn't make it to Mania.
I thought he was at Mania. I thought I remember seeing him there.
Nope, he was not
at
there.
A cruise.
He was at his cruise.
Huh.
He was at the Hall of Fame to accept his award, but he was not at the show. So, Undertaker came out as the Dead Man, and I don't understand why... here's another reason why I don't think I understood why people wanted the American Badass. It was because everybody's saying, oh, well, because he left the shit in the middle of the ring, they should have left it there. Yeah, but people forgot at Raw 25, he came out as the Dead Man. So, he's going to be the Dead Man. If he had not come out of Raw 25, then I'd be like every one of you, an American Badass. Anyways, John Cena and Undertaker, the one match that everybody had been hyped for, lasted
If Triple H is going to do a motorcycle entrance, then nobody else is.
Exactly. So, John Cena versus Undertaker, a match that we had all looked forward to for years, thought it was going to happen. Last 2 minutes and 52 seconds was virtually a squash to Cena. Taker did his 5 moves of doom. John Cena was about to do his 5 moves of doom, but then he got caught off guard because he finally realized that a person can actually see him in the Undertaker, and Taker hit him with 1 tombstone and ended the match, and that was that.
I was
How
happy
did you
with
feel,
it.
Steve?
How do I feel? While it was a cool moment, I felt like you wasted a potential John Cena Undertaker match by just having it go 3 minutes. Especially if you're not going to do a rematch. If you are, fine. But otherwise, it was just weird. Just my opinion.
I felt it was exactly what the fans wanted.
They just want to see
Especially
Undertaker kick ass, but...
Well, I think they especially wanted this because a lot of people felt they knew how the main event was going to go.
Yep.
We'll talk about that later, but I feel like a lot of people felt like they knew how the main event was going to go, so this was like an offset to that.
All right.
In my opinion.
So, they bring out the Hall of Fame class, do their usual thing, whatever.
That's
Then we
good.
get Shane McMahon and Daniel Bryan versus Sami Zayn and Kevin Owens. I knew going into this match I wasn't expecting quality despite the talent in there because Daniel Bryan is wrestling for the first time in many years. Daniel Bryan had an awesome video package right beforehand, which made me question, wait a minute. All this shit happened 5 years ago when he really started getting hot, and you all ignored it. Now you want to use this as a way to really make him? Now they're going to make money off of him. Why not just say that this was all because of Roman? Like, Roman started this. Might as well. You tried to transfer the Yes Chance to Big Show. Why not transfer them to Roman? I think it'd be hilarious. They had a match. The thing that they were trying to go for here was people really want to see Daniel Bryan wrestle. So what they did was, right before the match, Sami Zayn and Kevin Owens attacked Daniel Bryan. And so it was a handicap match. And I understood where they were going, but the match was so fucking boring at first.
Yeah, I agree.
I agree with that.
And I think it really killed the audience. So, once Daniel Bryan finally woke up, the crowd woke up because it was like, yes, we're finally going to get to see Daniel Bryan wrestle.
Because that's what we wanted. We didn't really the crowd didn't really care about seeing Shane McMahon fight these two guys. We wanted to see Daniel Bryan fight these two guys. Shane was like an irrelevant factor in this match.
He was window dressing.
Yes. That's what we wanted to see Daniel Bryan.
Yeah. They had an okay match. That's all I can really say about it.
It wasn't a bad match. I feel like I want to see Daniel Bryan fight one of these guys again, which, I'm sure since he's returned to as an active competitor, we will see again. But it was what the fans wanted. We wanted Daniel Bryan back. he did essentially the Daniel Bryan version of the 5 moves of doom. We got to see the S kicks. We got to see him do the S lock. We got to see him do the flying knee. You know, we got to see all the greatest hits kind of thing, which is, I feel like, what the fans wanted. You're right. The match didn't come alive until Daniel Bryan came into it, because that's what we all wanted to see.
Like I said, I understood what they were trying to aim for, but I think it was just a big misstep. Anyways, that was that.
TNA's hiring.
Yes, exactly. They can't even get they're so irrelevant, they're using their old name. They can't even call it Impact Wrestling. It's great. Next, we get the announcement, 78,133 announced in attendance. Then we get the Raw Women's Championship match. Alexa Bliss defends the title against Nia Jax. This, in my opinion, made Nia Jax the smartest individual on the face of the earth, because the first thing she did was she just completely obliterated Mickie James. So, why doesn't everybody else do this, knowing full well that the heel that has a manager beside them that has been known to cheat, why don't they just beat the shit out of them right prior? Especially if you're the size of Nia Jax. They had an okay match, but I was shocked to see how much people were into Nia Jax at the stadium. I'm quite fond of that, because I've been one of the few that thought that Nia Jax could be something. She's a little rusty, yes, but I do feel there's potential. She just needs to work with the right talent.
Go ahead.
No, I'm done.
Nia Jax is one of those people like Baron Corbin, like Elias, who their character got better when they moved to the main roster. And I've had this opinion before. You can see it on Spaz's channel. Nia Jax got better to me when they improved her moveset. When it wasn't like, I'm going to sit on you. When it's like, I'm going to dominate you. I know it's a nitpick, but whenever somebody does like a leg drop or something where they like slam their whole body on top of somebody, is different than when somebody does like suplexes and body slams and stuff like that. It's the very distinct difference that, to me, when they had Nia Jax like doing leg drops and stuff, they were like fat girl moves. I hate to use that. It made me think of, well, I'm using my whole weight to squish you, as opposed to when she's doing slams, when she's doing like suplexes and stuff, where she's like, I'm using my strength to take you down, kind of thing.
I'm sorry.
Now that you're overly exaggerating your laugh.
I'm sorry, it's just the way you said it was funny.
I'm sorry, that's what it feels like to me.
It's the way you said it that was funny.
I like Nia Jax now. I do feel like the storyline going into this was a little reminiscent of Mickie James, which is weird because Mickie James is also involved in this storyline.
It wasn't as vulgar, though.
It was not as vulgar, and we got the victory that we wanted. We got to see her triumph over the bully. Both bullies, technically, because she took out Mickie James beforehand.
Guapo.
I'm disappointed because Bliss lost, but, you know.
Oh,
that's
Biscuit
just
Butt.
me.
Of course you are.
Biscuit Butt.
Anyway, I'm happy. I'm happy for Nia. I knew she was gonna win, but I am very happy for her. It wasn't a squash match per se as I thought it was gonna be, but it was done well.
Yeah, 9 minutes and 2 seconds, average. Nothing really more you could say, because Alexa Bliss is not the best wrestler in the company. Best character, maybe.
She is the best heel in the company.
Yeah. I would have argued probably Charlotte would have been back in her time, but that was when Alexa Bliss was still coming into her own, so. WWE World Championship match! The dream match! The match we've all been looking forward to!
I was let down.
AJ Styles defends against Shinsuke Nakamura.
I was also let down a little bit.
A little
I
bit?
feel like
I
this
was
is
so
a
severely let down.
Look, I put it like
this
this.
is a match that if you rewatched on the network, you might like it more.
No.
But
No.
No.
Did you
No.
rewatch it on the
I
network?
rewatched it, and I really hate to say it because I think maybe if you maybe if you rewatch it, Kristen, you will like it better. Myself, because before Mania, I did rewatch their match in New Japan.
I did too.
I was severely let down because I had extremely high hopes that I was going to get close to, if not better, than what we got for from Wrestlekingdom.
That's our problem. That was our
See,
problem.
I never assume it's going to be similar to the Indies.
Well,
Because
that's the thing though. But the problem. No,
Wrestling.
Kristen, I'm sorry to cut you off, but the problem is New Japan Wrestle Kingdom. I don't even count it as an indie. I don't even count it as a out of promotion type of match because how they wrestled that match was how WWE wrestles their matches.
Okay. Well, I
hate the match. The match that they had between AJ and Shinsuke in New Japan was far beyond better than what we got at Mania.
I think,
okay, and then you nullified my argument because I was going to go into the fact that indie wrestling is not the same as WWE wrestling, which I think, if Manasa can correct me, I've made that argument before.
Well, again, New Japan's not an indie. That's the first thing.
I know, but
I know what you're saying. You're right. They're not the same because WWE, there are certain things you can't do there that you're allowed to do in the indies due to the fact that their schedule is much tougher. So you can't do certain moves that you could do in the independents.
Okay. But you guys are telling me that New Japan is similar-esque.
No, we're not talking New Japan. Just match.
No. That match, the match that AJ and Shinsuke wrestled at Wrestle Kingdom. I think was it 12?
They had at Wrestle.
I don't remember which Wrestle
Kingdom was. The match they had at Wrestle Kingdom was similar-esque.
10, yeah, you're right.
To
10.
a WWE match.
Correct.
And it wasn't better because because I wasn't a huge fan of the match. I mean, it was all right, but I wasn't blown away by this match either. But I was assuming that maybe I missed something based on my vantage point for the match.
No, the problem is that this match couldn't get out of second gear. Like, it was totally stuck in gear.
Now that you say that, I totally agree with that. Now that you use that to describe it, that's how I would describe it.
Yeah, it was getting into the motions, but it could not progress further. And I think what also hurt it was the fact that it started to come out of gear when they did that awesome end spot where Shinsuke was going to go for the knee and then it got reversed into a Styles Clash. We thought that Nakamura was going to kick out and this is where it was going to go, but then it just ended.
Correct.
It did just have an ending where you were just like, okay, I wasn't ready for that to end. All right, that's the end of that now.
I will say this about the whole match. The match itself, I feel let down because I had very high expectations for it, which I knew going in I should not have had, but I did. But the payoff for it, I'm okay with.
Right. The ending, the match went 20 minutes and 30 seconds. AJ Styles retained the title. Nakamura bowed to AJ Styles and handed him the title, but then
and hold on, with Shinsuke losing, both winners of the Royal Rumble lost.
I was just going to say that. Both winners of the Royal Rumble lost.
And because of that, I even leaned over to my brother-in-law and told him, yep, Vince does not like Japanese wrestlers as his title holders.
Unless they're evil foreigners.
Correct.
So, post-match, Nakamura low blows Styles, turns heel. If you saw on SmackDown, Nakamura is a fucking awesome heel. So, there's that.
So maybe this
the
match
backstage
gave us something better.
The backstage promo that Nakamura gave with
Renee Young
at SmackDown was amazing and made me made me very happy, especially the part where Renee's like, so you're not remorseful, you're not really sorry. I'm sorry.
No
I speak no
English.
English. No speak English. Dead. Completely dead. It was amazing.
I think another problem with this match was that, and this is my thing, there was no heel-face dynamic. It was just face-face. I think
it's always hard to do a face-face match.
Yeah. I think you really do need a heel dynamic, and I think out of the two, Nakamura being the heel is the right move. So.
And I agree with that, and you also can't have heel versus heel because that was the dark match for SmackDown. We got Nakamura versus Ziggler.
I see. So next was the Raw Tag Team Championship match. The Bar, Sheamus and Cesaro came out on one of those little floats because, the bar's open all night. So
I think that this was the second most over match of the night.
Well, I'm going to get to that. So the bar comes out. They've got all these people masked, the Mardi Gras thing. Okay, blah blah blah. Then Braun Strowman comes out, and this was fucking awesome. So all the people that were on the Mardi Gras float are running the fuck away because Braun Strowman just made his appearance. And I was telling Anna, my girlfriend, he's got to do something to that float. I thought he was going to flip it, but he did something better. He pushed it off the stage and it collapsed, and everybody ran. Funniest shit ever. I was dying. It was the greatest thing ever. So he comes out. Obviously, we're wondering who his partner is. So he comes on the mic and he announces that the partner's going to be one of you. So he runs around the arena. Apparently, Tanahashi was in the audience, but he did not pick him. He went up to a little child named Nicholas, who was wearing a Wrestlemania shirt.
I was about to say, on a side note, was one of the son. It was a son of one of the
referees.
One of the referees.
So he finds his kid, and they have a match. It was a know-nothing match. The comedy was more, the fans wanted Nicholas. Nicholas was just standing on the outside, all freaked out.
He looked frightened.
Yeah, he said, there was one part I just forgot. This made me fucking cry. So, as soon as he brings Nicholas, he's trying to position the rope so that Nicholas can get in, and Nicholas is like all reversed. He's like, get in there! I nearly died.
Get in there.
I died of laughter. Like, after this night and after Raw, Braun Strowman needs to win the Universal title at some fucking point. God, give it to this guy. I'm serious. Anyways, so they have a match. It was a handicap match for the most part. Nicholas is holding onto the ropes scared. All of a sudden, even though Braun Strowman said, you just stay there, let me do the work, Braun Strowman tags Nicholas in. So Nicholas comes in, and Cesaro's like, I ain't fighting this kid. You literally see the fear on his face. He tags in Braun Strowman. Cesaro jumps off and gets caught into a running power slam. 1, 2, 3. Nicholas officially becomes the youngest champion in WWE history, breaking Rene Dupree's record of 19 years and 10 months. Oh no, 6 months I think, by being 10 years old. So now he's officially the youngest champion.
He also officially has more tag team title reigns than Enzo and Cass ever did. Which was probably one of my most shared tweets at WrestleMania.
And he has more title reigns on the main roster than Samoa Joe, Nakamura, and Asuka. So there you go.
Yep. No, Asuka on the main roster, but Asuka has a
that's what I'm saying, main roster
title reign.
Right, but so does
Shinsuke.
So does Shinsuke, but I said main roster, that's why. And Samoa Joe. So yeah, it was a 3-minute, 55-second match. It was mostly just to give the crowd a good ha-ha, laugh. Some people may have thought it was dumb. I thought it was funny. It was cute. Like, wrestling needs its cute moments.
All wrestling matches can't be serious. You have to have some of these matches that are funny, and I thought it was a great, especially after the next. Go ahead.
I was hoping Nicholas was going to get tagged in and do a Hurricane Rana off of Cesaro and then tag out.
That would have been awesome.
I was really hoping he was going to be a kid that's been like training or whatever and did something. And Cesaro, if anybody would have took it, like I was like, oh my god, we're gonna get Kenny Omega versus the little girl all over again.
I would have loved, something where they tagged him in. and he went to, like, hit Cesaro, but he closed his eyes to do it.
Mm-hmm.
Like, overly exaggerated, closed his eyes to do it. And as his eyes are closed, Braun Strowman, like, punches the guy from the ring corner so that he thinks he's the one that did it.
Hmm.
And then he gets the pin.
Yes. I thought the match was cute. I loved it. I thought it was hilarious.
I didn't like
it
that
was
they had to relinquish the titles the next night, though.
Yeah, but scheduling
loved that.
conflicts.
True. I guess the kid got to go to school.
I loved the scheduling conflicts. I love that they had to relinquish the title because he was in the 4th grade. But don't worry, we'll come back and he'll get these
But that
fans.
I said this to Anna. Imagine if that kid, he's 10 years old, he actually trains to become a pro wrestler at, let's say, 18, and 8 years from now he joins the WWE, and Braun Strowman's still employed there, and they actually use that as a storyline, and they win the tag titles again. That
would be amazing.
I will be
A
there for
two-time
that
tag
Mania.
team.
I will be
Yeah,
there for that
definitely.
WrestleMania. I'll be the biggest Nicholas fan.
Dude, that'll be the boyhood dream.
The boyhood dream has come true! 8 years in the making! He has recaptured the World Tag Team titles from Sheamus and Cesaro as well! How ironic!
That would be extra ironic, but it was a fun match. Not every wrestling match needs to have a serious, like, story. This was just fun and bullshitty, and Sheamus and Cesaro sold it. If you looked on Sheamus's Twitter, he said, "My night can be summed up with one word: #Nicholas."
Yep.
How over you think this kid's gonna be when he goes to school and say, "I was a tag team champion"?
Oh. I hope he went to school on that Monday with the title.
God, I hope so too.
And he brought it for show and tell.
That would have been awesome.
He's gonna
Right?
be like, yeah, you guys got your iPhones. I actually wrestled at WrestleMania in the semi-main event.
I was tagged in.
All right, let's go to the match that nobody wants to talk about.
Okay,
Hashtag Beach Ball Mania.
Here we go.
I can't even, no, you know what? Go ahead and introduce the match, and then I'll tell you what I did.
Universal Championship match. Brock Lesnar defends the title against Roman Reigns. Now, let me just preface this. I think Roman Reigns and Hulk Hogan are the only two guys that I can think of off the top of my head that have main evented 4 straight WrestleManias.
I would take that to the bank. Steve's
Probably.
usually not wrong about these things.
Okay, so...
I mean, has Cena even
No,
main evented 4 straight?
Cena main evented 22, 23. He did not main event 24. And he didn't main event until 27, 28, and 29. So he main evented 3 in a row, but he never main evented 4. Hogan main evented 4 in a row, 5, 6, 7, and 8. 9 I don't really count because that was an impromptu match. So, the point... Alright, listen. Here's what I'm going to say, okay? I need to, like, get things off my chest.
Go ahead.
Alright. I was trolling throughout this show because I just refuse for this.
Yes, he was hard.
I don't allow this company to piss me off. But once in a while, I let my true feelings shine to get you
But Vince McMahon told you to like it.
No, I naturally like it. There's a difference.
Okay.
Vince McMahon doesn't pay me for this shit. I naturally love it. Alright, listen. This match was a waste. There's a reason this was a waste. You let Brock Lesnar win, but he had to do 6 F5s in order to put this guy down. And he had to bleed hard way. For the better part of 4 years, you have done nothing but to try and get this guy over. And now you're giving him a rematch at fucking the Greatest Royal Rumble in Saudi Arabia. Because in the Middle East, Roman Reigns has a very hardcore following with wrestling fans in the Middle East.
I did not know that.
He actually does. He has a very hardcore audience in the Middle East. So, your thought is, well, he'll beat Brock Lesnar in Saudi Arabia, and he'll get the coronation there because he'll get cheered. What does it say when you have to go to these extreme lengths to get the guy that you want over? Here's my problem. Instead of just taking back and saying, wow, the fans really don't like him, either turn him heel, make him a badass, put somebody else in that spot for the meantime. All you keep doing is protecting him at all costs just so that you can get your desired result. You have sacrificed Seth Rollins. You have sacrificed Dean Ambrose. You have sacrificed Finn Balor. You have sacrificed Braun Strowman. You've sacrificed Daniel Bryan. All just so that you can get this fucking guy over. Now, the reason...
It's not worked.
Here's the reason why I'm ranting right now. For a year, we knew the Roman Reigns-Brock Lesnar match was happening. It was literally heavily rumored right after WrestleMania 33, after you made Roman Reigns beat The Undertaker, to the fans' displeasure, okay? For a whole year, you have basically built this whole coronation, despite that he's still getting booed out of the building, okay? Because you just refuse to change the course so that you can alter it and maybe get something out of it. You keep sticking to this plan that we are going to build Brock Lesnar as this big monster so that Roman Reigns can finally beat him and be coronated as the new John Cena. This match, before I get to that, they protected the F5 for a whole year after you won the Universal title. Nobody ever kicked out of it. People would go down in one F5, and your whole purpose was so that when Roman Reigns kicks out of it, people will be like, oh my god, he kicked out of the F5. When Roman kicked out of the first F5, nobody fucking popped. It wasn't even like the fans were booing. They didn't care. They hit a second F5. Nobody cared. He hit a third F5. Nobody gave a shit. Even kicking out of it. Then he hit a fourth F5 onto a table. Then he hit a fifth F5. He kicked out. Nobody cared. Literally, fans were chanting, this is awful. They were playing with beach balls. The only time people were reacting to the match was the this is awful chant. If you heard boos, they were booing because they were playing with beach balls and cops were taking them away.
I was about to say that. There were a lot of boos for cops that were taking away beach balls.
Nobody gave
security.
a shit. People were leaving. People were not showing any interest in this match.
I was one of the people that was leaving.
Suave left.
I saw the first 2 minutes of the match. I barely saw the entrances. I saw the first 2 minutes of the match, and then our buddy Gilbert Blaze was like, I can't take this. I'm leaving. And we fucking left. And then at some point, we were down on the bottom row, on the bottom of the stadium. And I looked to Gilbert Blaze and say, I wonder how the match is going. And that's when it started going, this is awful. And I was like, well, that's my fucking answer.
Here's the thing. It's not that different from their first match, but their first match had heat going into it. Because first off, Brock Lesnar had been announced that he had resigned. And people were super into Brock. But I think people have grown tired of Brock just being fucking lazy. So
I think we're tired of the title not being on Raw. I don't know if we're tired of Brock being lazy, but I'm definitely sure we're tired of us not having a champion. I mean, Raw doesn't have a champion. It has The Miz, who's literally been carrying the title ship portion of Raw on his back for more than a year at this point. Because we have not had a Universal Champion.
I think that's only 10%, because when he had the WWE title, he had it for like 8 months, and the WWE title was going through the same phase, but he was putting on good matches, so people weren't as pissed with him. But because if he would have good matches as the Universal Champion, other than his match with AJ Styles, he never really had a good match. Every match has lasted like 5 minutes. And the whole purpose is so that Roman Reigns could be the one coronated from it. Not Samoa Joe, not Braun Strowman, nobody. It was for Roman Reigns. And Brock wins, and I just remember being shocked because my goal was to just troll everybody. Because I was going to be like, yes, Roman Reigns, this is his yard now. I was going to call my friend John. But then Brock won, and I'm like, so what was this whole point? Oh, I get it now, because you're going to Saudi Arabia. You just booked their rematch. You know that he'll get cheered there, so that's where you're going to have it. It's just, what does it say when you have to go to extreme lengths to get a guy that you handpicked over? The reason people don't like him is because you handpicked him. And they know that. When you keep trying to drill it into the audience's head, oh, well, Brock is the heir apparent of Vince McMahon and Roman Reigns is going to stop him. You're just insulting their intelligence. They know full well he's the chosen one. They know full well that you want him in that spot regardless of what we think. You're the one that picked him, not us. You decided that Roman Reigns is the heir apparent, not us. And
you know what's sad? You know what's sad? Whenever they want Roman Reigns to sound like edgy, at any point he just calls somebody a bitch.
Or
when John Cena does it, we're like, oh, like, remember when Roman Reigns and John Cena had their feud? He called Roman Reigns a bitch. We were like, oh shit, he called Roman Reigns a bitch. Because John Cena doesn't do that fucking often.
It's amazing.
Whenever that's your last resort, we see you as pandering to us.
Yeah, and it's all because this is what you want in the end. You want Roman Reigns in that spot, not us.
See, and we don't even as fans, I can't speak for everyone in this call, but I don't feel like we even hate Roman Reigns himself. I feel like we hate what he represents, that he's essentially like, this is the guy we want, and we shove him onto you. And it has nothing to do with Roman Reigns, the wrestler, or the man, or anything like that. It's that perceived that he has this, like, almost, what's the word I'm going to use? Almost this, like, stink that the smart marks, that the mainstream wrestling can smell on him. It's like, this is the guy we want. And we're going to shove him in your face until you decide what we've already decided.
And the worst... Go ahead, I'm sorry.
Go ahead.
I look at it like this. Roman has been constantly shoved down our throat. And he's related to The Rock, and people are taking it as he's The Rock's cousin, and he's getting pushed because he's The Rock's cousin, all that bullshit. He's Vince's boy, all that crap. However, look at the other person who's related to The Rock, who is currently in the company, Nia Jax. She has gotten over naturally, which in turn made fans like her, really like her, and she's been getting over and over gradually. At first, people didn't like her too much because, yes, she was sloppy in the ring a little bit and everything, but she's progressively gotten better, tweaked her move set, and fixed things that fans did say was wrong, and fixed things that helped her character development. She has become over by herself, and not with the help of saying because she's The Rock's cousin, and not with them constantly pushing her down our throats.
That's a great example.
And the worst part about the whole thing is that when something does get organically over, you make sure that it doesn't get any more over than it necessarily needs to be because you want Roman in that. It's like, what does it say about you when that's your plan? Like, okay, you're over, but you're not in our ideal plan, so we're just going to sacrifice you because this is where we want to go. I don't get why this is such a thing in 2018 where you're going to handpick the guy. We're much more educated. We don't want you to decide who the guy is. We want to decide it, and we want you to support our decision and don't look at it cosmetically, because the only reason that I can ever see you guys wanting Roman Reigns in that spot is because of cosmetics. That's the only reason, because there's nothing else I see. It's obviously not wrestling ability, because history has proven that you've not given the guy the spot because they're great wrestlers. It's never been that way.
And the bad part is Roman is not a terrible wrestler. If you watch a lot of his matches with people who are higher than him in the wrestling caliber, he can hold his own fairly well. I give him that, and he has gotten progressively better over the years. But like I understand what you're saying. The fans do not want him as the guy. We don't want him as the champion. So what's the issue?
He has that the guy stink on him.
He's too corporate looking, like too.
Exactly.
He is the purebred. How you would put it, like you could clearly tell that they just took one look at him and like, this is the guy because of what he looks like. Regardless of his talent, they're gonna. It's more like nepotism in a way.
Look, I'll give you another example. A couple years ago, when Drew McIntyre made his first run in WWE, he was chosen as Vince's golden boy, Vince's chosen one.
The guy.
What happened? Fans revolted. They didn't like him. He got demoted to the 3MB. And what happened? He left the company, went to Indies, made a name for himself in the Indies, got over naturally with fans in Indies, came back. Now he's in NXT. He was the NXT champion. Fans loved it. He's hurt right now, yes, but the moment he said they give him the okay, he's 100% cleared, he gets back in the ring, he's going to be over because he's done it naturally with the fans and gained their respect to the fact that if they say, all right, he's the guy again, fans will go with it.
Like,
can I be devil's advocate for a second?
Go ahead.
And I'm sure this is an argument you guys have heard before, and because I know I've heard it before, when they talk about, oh, you wrestling you internet, especially you internet wrestling fans are so fickle about all this stuff. You don't know what you want until it's handed to you. A la, I would say a la The Rock, a la Stone Cold.
Well, it's funny you mentioned The Rock. It's funny you mentioned The Rock. Because The Rock was going through exactly what Roman Reigns is going through now. He was getting booed as a babyface. But what did they do? They turned him heel. They allowed him to eventually develop the persona that was The Rock. And we started to like him. I mean...
Well, while you're speaking of that heel persona, John Cena is a big target when it comes to when WWE talks about the corporate guy. John Cena right now, a lot of his most popular movies right now are what some would call raunchy movies. And this was something I picked up at John Cena did a show. They did a showing of Blockers, the movie he's in, and he did a little Q&A after. And somebody asked why, especially recently, he's been doing a lot more raunchy movies. And he talked about how, WWE is a PG company. So there's not a lot he can do, and he knows that the fans really want this like heel turn from him, and that's not going to happen at least anytime soon. And he talks about how because of that, he does these raunchy movies to like almost appease WWE fans so that they could see a more rated R side of his character that he can't present in a WWE ring. And so, I feel like we're talking about Roman Reigns and himself, and, I think we've all gone out of our ways to be like, this isn't Roman Reigns, this is what WWE wants Roman Reigns to be. And it's very much like the John Cena character. This is the character that the WWE wants John Cena to be.
But see,
and they can't escape from this because this is what the head guys want.
And the big difference is Cena is making money.
Well, yes, Cena is making money. I would just like to, there's a lot of fans that like shit on Roman Reigns for this. Don't necessarily only shit on Roman Reigns for this. This is WWE's concoction. This is what they've decided is going to be his thing.
Right. And within the first year it was understandable because you can label it as a miscalculation. But after you go through nearly 3 to 4 years of the same thing, it's the old saying, the definition of insanity is doing the same thing over and over again and expecting a different result. Like, literally, out of all the WrestleMania matches, I think this is the worst that Roman's gotten, because 31, he was booed.
This was a really bad match.
Well, no,
31?
I'm not talking about the match. 31, he got booed. 32, he got booed. 33, he got booed. 34, nobody cared. Like, literally no reaction for either guy. They didn't like either guy.
Well,
The beach balls were over.
Instead, the John Cena thing is like, and John Cena has said it numerous times, where he's like, I am a role model for kids. I am essentially the Hulk Hogan. I am the ultimate superhero good guy. When they find somebody to replace me, then, maybe I will advocate not being this character anymore. And, even though they're presenting Roman Reigns as this John Cena face, he's really not. Because they get him to call people bitch a lot and, try and get him to be like tough, whatever, even though none of us fucking buy it. You can see that as an example when Roman Reigns had a feud with John Cena.
Roman Reigns is... Go ahead. I was going to say, Roman Reigns' character right now is basically a preteen, before he hits puberty, John Cena character.
Exactly. Like, not even the good rapper version. Correct.
This isn't even the prototype, because even the prototype was over. This is the in between. This is after the rapper gimmick, before he went full babyface John, where people were just like, "Oh my God, no! This is stupid, horrible. Don't do it." This
and
is
not
the.
Even, go ahead.
Because he's trying to be the cool guy, doing the saying bitch and I'm gonna kick your ass type crap, all that stuff. It's a childish, like, not mature way of handling the situations, pretty much. It's not smart. It's trying to appeal to the... I mean, I'm not trying to put anybody off because for liking him for whatever reason they like him, but it makes it like
he's like a face, but not even a good role model either.
Correct.
Because he's like almost a bully, but like, maybe that's not the best word to use. They're putting him in the John Cena role model-esque, but he's not really a good role model either. Because he's still, like, cussing at people and, putting them down and all of that stuff. And
he's the kid in the back of the classroom that's saying, "Hey, don't smoke, but do you want this pack of cigarettes?"
Exactly. He's the kid that, like, always talked about, like, how much... I'm about to go super crude here. He's the kid in the back that talks about how much pussy he's getting on the side, but he hasn't, like, gotten laid ever.
He's still a virgin.
Yes.
Imagine Roman still being a virgin right now. That would be so awesome.
Well, he can't be. He has a child.
No, you can make up a story like she has conceived with somebody else because he can't conceive.
But, like, What's sad is that, okay, so I feel like the three of us, and please correct me if I'm wrong, gentlemen, I feel like, let's put John Cena's wrestling aside, I feel like John Cena has always been able to at least talk the talk.
Yes.
Yeah.
Roman cannot talk the talk. He's not great at promos. He's still pretty green now. I mean... No, there's no further evidence than when you put him up against the guy that you're trying to get him to replace at some point. And John Cena wiped the floor with him like a fucking Swiffer.
I mean, he's come a long way from suckering succotash, but it still leaps and bounds away from being the guy level.
Yeah, he's not bad. He's getting better. He is a guy that was pushed up too quickly into the main event way before his promo skills were up to par and his wrestling skills were up to par.
And because of that, we end up with this match with Brock Lesnar, and Brock Lesnar won, and the crowd was flat for it.
Dude, the crowd was fucking... And I like several of the wrestlers that defended this main event, and on a 2% area, I understand why they did it. I'm calling out Ricardo Rodriguez as especially, because there were a lot of people that a lot of wrestlers that went to Twitter that were like talking about the selfish fans and how everybody worked hard at this, blah, blah, blah. But, you know, these fans thought that they were bigger than this event. Fuck you guys. How dare you belittle us because we say a match is awful? We paid our fucking money. I'm not saying that you should perform for us like dancing monkeys or any shit like that. But I'm not going to pull my punches and say a match was good just because somebody worked hard for it. Sometimes you work hard for it and it's fucking awful. And I don't need to go to wrestling school to know that a match is fucking awful.
I would just like everybody to know that the opinions of what was just said is not the opinion of Steven Medashevsky, also known as Monoxide. So if you want to spread any heat, you direct it right at her Twitter, at Black Cat Feline.
Okay, all right. Yeah, directed at me. Directed at me at Black Cat Feline. What do you feel like you say, Monoxide YouTube?
I would say that Ricardo Rodriguez is just looking at it from a perspective of, I know what it's like when people work hard, and it's almost like you basically get ridiculed. Like, I get the concept of what he's trying to say. Are
you trying to say it's like a slap in the face?
I wouldn't say slap in the face, per se, because when you work really hard at something, like you felt like you really dedicated yourself to this so-called project, like you didn't half-ass it, and a group of people are saying that this is the worst shit ever, I can see resentment to it. But in a much less vulgar way, in a less insulting way, I kind of agree with Kristen.
I'll be the insulting one, which is weird because usually Monoxide's the insulting one, but...
Well, I found out...
I'll be that person tonight. I don't fucking care. I don't need to go to wrestling school to know that a match is good or not.
Well, it's because I found out some news that I would like to discuss with you once the show is over. In fact, the show is running really long. But overall, the show was very long. WrestleMania, 7 hours.
It was. WrestleMania does not need to be 7 hours long.
Yeah. So,
no, it does not.
Final thoughts on the fucking awful final match?
I'll say this. There's nothing that those two men could do to distract me from actually paying attention to the people playing with the beach balls than actually pay attention to the match. They almost got me when Roman started bleeding the hard way, because I was like, oh, is he bleeding? And then I saw the Crimson Mask. I'm like, holy fuck, he's bleeding. I guess I'll watch the match now.
I will say that, you know, it was not, I'm not saying it was a good match. It was not a good match. It was not a good match at all. But the problem with this match was it could have been the fucking greatest match ever. It could have been the greatest match these two men could have put together. And I don't have any proof of this, but I don't think the fans would have cared.
No, they wouldn't.
Because this was not the match they wanted. Everybody was against this match from a year ago. Everybody was against this match. And you did it anyways. And so I don't feel like even if these men, they didn't, but even if these men put on the greatest match that these two men could have put on together, I don't think it would have come out with the reaction that the WWE management wanted.
No. They didn't even get Roman booed. They just didn't care. That's the sad part. So anyways, yep, that was WrestleMania, and it proves that sometimes the end of your show can either make or break, and the ending did definitely break this show. Although I had fun live. Not gonna lie.
All right, what's the thing? that
Well,
you
I'd
wanna
rather
discuss?
discuss it off the show because it's not confirmed yet, and I don't want to spread.
Okay, all
non-confirmed.
right.
So, anyways, that's WrestleMania. We will be back hopefully next week with another edition
Yes,
of
hopefully
Squared Circle
next week.
with Squared Circle Breakdown. So, I hope you all enjoyed this long show, just like the long WrestleMania show.
I blame
Thank
myself
God.
for having a long show because that's what happens when I drink.
Thank God it wasn't as long as Mania, though.
Exactly.
Jesus Christ, no.
Get ready. I'll be back for NOLA in October, and I'm gonna drink some. So.
We have to do a live video then.
Yes.
By Monoxide's gonna drink, he means he'll have like a drink and a half and be wasted.
Something like that. Anyways,
And Guapo's going to drink, and that's going to be about like 4 bottles.
awesome.
Yep.
And I still won't feel anything. All right.
Well, let's not shit on Monoxide. Kristen will also have a drink and a half, and depending on what those drink and a halves are, I'll probably also be wasted.
Ladies and gentlemen.
Good night.
Goodbye.
Adios, amigos.